their hand. Right? There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of things going through your mind that, hey, what's going to happen? There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of different challenges that different people are having. The pie is a lot smaller. So if the pie is a lot smaller, what does that mean? You got to get more pieces of the pie, right? But it's also one of the great moments. Why? Because everything resets. You get your opportunities to make a lot of money in these type of markets. But you have to have a mindset that you have to understand that just because the winds change does not mean that direction that you're going needs to change. See, when you're in a sailboat, the winds change all the time. If you control the sail, you still end up where you need to go. How many people agree with that? Okay? So when your mindset is, hey, the winds are all over the place, but I know the direction I'm going, I'm going to make some adjustments, I'm going to take my ego out. Okay? The definition of ego is a perception we create to feel better about ourselves. Okay? For a lot of us, our ego, our pride comes in the way. We don't want to make the changes. We're like, nah, we're not doing this. Right? And you guys notice the differences from back in the days and some of the ways that business was done and how it's being done now. Some people go, hey, well, you don't understand. You know, my clients need hand-holding and it's not going to work this way. Right? But guess what? If you go back 5 years ago, you weren't who you are today. How many people agree with that? Okay? 100%. Okay? Who you are today is what those last 5 years of experiences made you. The question is going to be is, can you take your ego out and adapt to change? And change is really challenging because the only person that likes change is a baby with a wet diaper. Okay? No one else likes change at all. How many people agree with that? Okay? But for a lot of people, it's also a little bit further than that. It's also about understanding, hey, do I really want to take a risk? Do I want to really take a challenge? So let me ask a question. I have a little piece of paper that has 3 things on it. Either you got to sing in front of the group, or you got to dance like a chicken, or you're going to go ahead and sing a song, two different songs for the whole group. Who would like to come up and just get an option on that? To see what they choose. Who would like to see? And it might be just going to come up here and do nothing and just stand here. Who would like to come up front right now out of the group? Come on in. Are you going to come up front?
Come on.
Don't ask me.
Well, can I come?
Yeah. That's how he got you, right? With that personality of his. Okay? So having 60, 70 people here and only 2 people that came up front, the question you have to ask yourself, he won. Thank you. Okay, the question you have to ask yourself is, why didn't everyone else raise their hand? Okay, that's honest. Uncertainty. What is this guy going to make me do? Am I going to be dancing like a chicken, or am I going to be singing a song? What's going to happen? All these different reasons. All these doubts in your head. And fear was the number 1 reason why you didn't come up front. So for coming up front, for both of you, March 31st, we're doing an event. It's going to be with Bhavan and Jason Oppenheim. And you're going to actually get a room at the Wynn on the house.
Wow.
Yes. And you too. Congratulations. What that tells you right there is that in life you have to take a risk and not be attached to the outcome. And the reason is, when you're attached to the outcome, you miss out on the process. If you focus on the process, the universal laws will take control. For example, for every action, there's a reaction. Okay? So if you made 150 calls, maybe 1 person calls you back, yes or no? Yes. Right? So that's the universal law. Okay? But you have to be willing to take the chance. Now, I'll be the first one to tell you that in my life, I've taken risks, and a lot of them went well, and then some went really down. When something goes really down, people around you disappear. Right? People around you start kicking you while you're down and say, you fall. But you took a chance. See, every single person in this room has a fight that they're fighting inside them that nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody knows your challenges that you're going through in life. Nobody knows you have health challenges. Some of you have maybe a challenge with relationships. Everyone in this room has a fight that they're fighting that nobody knows about. But the good news is that every single person in here could win that fight. The person they have to win that fight from is not from anybody else. It's within themselves. If you win the fight within you, you win everything in life. That doesn't mean that there's not going to be setbacks. Okay, some of the biggest falls come after when there's extreme happiness in life. Sadness is always around the corner. You ever notice that? Right? You're like on the top of the world, things are going great, wow. And sadness is around the corner. Right? You witness that all the time. You look at situations. You look at Tom Brady, for example, right? You see all the great things that have happened to him. He goes through a challenging time in a relationship. It doesn't matter at what level you're at. There's always going to be a challenge around the corner. If you expect it and say, hey, I know that there's going to be a challenge, and when that challenge comes, I will deal with it, I will go through it, I'll go around it, I'll go above it, I'll go below it. If you do that, what happens? What happens? If you had that mentality, you wouldn't live out of fear. The two guiding factors for human beings, two guiding factors, is fear and faith. You know what fear and faith have in common? They're both imagination of tomorrow. The difference between fear and faith is that fear is a negative imagination of tomorrow, and faith is a positive imagination of tomorrow. So if you're going to think about tomorrow, that something that hasn't even happened, why not think of it out of faith? See, when people are depressed, most people that are depressed is because they hold on to the past. When people have anxiety, it's because they're worried about the future. So you either live in a world that you can't change, or you live in a world that hasn't even happened, and the now keeps escaping. But if you focused on being in the now and had faith about tomorrow, your anxiety would be all gone. That little switch, if you choose it to be. But then people go, no, Sam, no, I'm just so unlucky in life. Everything's unlucky. I finally got into the real estate business, and look what's happening with the market. Look what's happening in the market. I'm so unlucky. How many people heard a story about the farmer? The farmer in a village got a horse. Everyone in the town goes, wow, you're so fortunate, you're so lucky that you got a horse. And the farmer replied, maybe. The next day, his horse ran away. Everyone in the town goes, wow, you're so unlucky, you're so unfortunate. Your family has such bad luck that your horse ran away. And the farmer replied, maybe. A week later, his horse came back with 5 wild horses. Everyone in the town goes, wow, you're so lucky. Now you got 5 wild horses. You are so lucky. Now you got 6 horses total. You're so fortunate. Your family has such good luck. And the farmer replied, maybe. The next day, his son was playing with one of the wild horses. His son fell off, broke his leg. Everyone in the town goes, wow, your family has such bad luck. Your son broke his leg. Such bad luck, such bad luck. You're so unlucky. And the farmer replied, maybe. A week later, the army came into town to take all the young boys into the army. And they knocked on this farmer's door. They go, what's wrong with your son? He has a broken leg. They said, oh, we can't take him. You keep your son. The army took all the rest of the sons in the village and left. Everyone in the town goes, wow, you're so lucky. You got to keep your son. And the farmer replied, maybe. That is the journey of life. Everything has to happen for what's about to happen. Okay, everything. If you look at life that way, things go in a better route. If you look at your life as just being something that nothing is going your way, everything is against you, you're the victim of everything. If you look at life that way, I'm telling you right now, you're going to have a tough road because challenges are going to be all around you. How many people agree? Yes or no? Yes. Okay? So today is about understanding that change has to happen. And we're going to get really deep into Morgan, which was invented by Bhavan Agrawal. And understanding change is, how many people remember when Tesla came out and everyone goes, this is never going to work. The electric car thing, never going to work. Remember that? All the hate, all the haters. I mean, still got a lot of the haters, but, you know what I mean? Everyone said this thing's never going to work. How many Teslas you see out there? Okay? How many people remember being on a typewriter, typing up different letters, different things? How many people remember? I don't know. So a lot of you guys are young in here, but some of you might remember, right? Right? So things have changed, and things are about to change again, and they continue to change. So how do we change with them? So when we get into Morgan's an AI that was created basically having your own underwriter in your pocket. If you're a realtor and you're like, hey, it's 12 midnight, or you're like, hey, I need to get this thing answered. I need a question answered. Hey, you know what? Let me just go ahead and get on usemorgan.com and get this question answered. Let me put in this question, and you get your answer in a few minutes. The difference between Morgan and Google is that when you put something in Google, Google gives you like thousands of different things that it could be. When Morgan responds in a few minutes, okay, Morgan will give you one answer, and the answer is backed. So meaning that if that answer comes through and you have a file and you submit it, that file will be honored with the answer that the AI gave. Okay, it will be backed 100%. The challenge with people is that they're like, how do I put this into the phone? So we're going to do something a little bit fun. And we're going to do it a little bit early on. Everyone take their phones out. Okay? Take your phones out.
Let's do it. What do we got?
All right, you got your phone? Go to usemorgan.com. Okay, I want you to say, and I don't know if you've seen those really nice shirts that people have been wearing with Morgan. Have you guys seen them outside? Okay. I want you guys to just say, I would like a Morgan shirt. Can I have a Morgan shirt? Whichever you want.
I want a Morgan.
So you go on usemorgan.com. Okay, everybody on there. Okay, go ahead and message that in there. Is anyone having a hard time? Okay, good. Engage, go to engage, and then say, I want my Morgan shirt.
I want a Morgan shirt.
Okay? Alright, so in a minute or two, you'll get a response from Morgan. And you can put in your size, and I only do this as a fun exercise to get you used to asking the different question. If you're a loan rep, and many of you have great loan reps you're working with, if you're a loan rep and you wanted something at nighttime, you wanted something run through Morgan, you're like, hey, you know what, I have all these tax returns, I have all these W-2s, and I just want Morgan to figure out the income for me, right? You put that attachment, you attach all those paperwork in there and say, Morgan, please let me know what their income is and what they qualify for. And Morgan will come back and you'll have something from Morgan within an hour or so. You'll have something what they qualify for. That's how simple the process gets. Now, for change to be okay, I think there's another piece that has to really come in understanding of internally. How many people are realizing right now that they have to do something different to generate business? Anybody? Okay. How many people are trying to figure out what the right strategy needs to be? Anybody? Okay, everyone's trying to figure, most of you are trying to figure out. How many people know the right strategy? Be honest. Go ahead, raise your hand if you believe it. Go ahead. Okay, what's your strategy?
For business, it's always
consistency, I'm assuming, are you a realtor or a loan officer?
I work for title.
Okay, so you're a title rep.
Yeah.
Okay, so your consistency is going after LOs, realtors, etc.
Clients,
Right. Okay, that's fair. So it's great you have that certainty, right? So strategies is important. If you run east looking for a sunset, are you going to find a sunset? Some of you are nodding yes. No. No. If you run east looking for a sunset, you're not going to find it. So it doesn't matter how hard you run. It does not matter how hard you run. It does not matter how long you run. You will not find a sunset. You got to have the right strategies. Today, in the business, with the pie being smaller, most people are trying to figure out, why isn't it so easy? Why isn't it so easy? If it was easy, you wouldn't have the opportunity to make the money that you make in this industry, if it was easy. Does that make sense? Yes or no? Okay? So, the question I would like to ask you guys is that, what are you willing to do? If someone had a gun on your head and said, I need you to get a deal this week, would you get a deal this week?
Yes.
But what's the difference between that and getting the deal this week, regardless? What's the difference? Because it's a must. It's a must. It's not a should. Okay, when anything in life is a should, you only do it at your own convenience. Okay, when something is a must, you will make it happen right away. But you got to get rid of beliefs. When you look at the word belief, right in the middle, it says lie. Most beliefs are lies. So the definition of belief is something you're certain about. Okay? And first you have to understand is that back in the days, they told us that Pluto was a planet. How many people remember that? Okay, when I went to school, they said Pluto was a planet. Now Pluto is not considered a planet. To be able to change your beliefs, you have to be open to the idea that you might have some beliefs that might not be true. You got to get, but it's interesting in the world, right? Like when you have the Super Bowl or when you have the World Cup, you see people, yeah, we did it. You see someone go to the Lakers game, yeah, we did it, we won, woo! You ever ask the question, what did they win? What did they win? The person that owns the team made the money. The players made the money. The advertisers made the money. What did they win? They colored their face. They got all crazy. They're jumping up and down. We did it, we did it, we did it.
Experience.
Yeah, but imagine if they had that passion in their own life the same way. Imagine if they had that same fire in their own business. Where would their business be? Where would their life be? How many people agree with that? Yes or no? Right? That same enthusiasm you give to something that doesn't even give anything to you, if you gave it in your own life, you would go to a different place. But most people are not that way, because if I walked into the office, if I walked into your office and said, yeah, baby, today's going to be a good day, baby, woo! You'd be like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? What is he on? Is he on drugs or what's going on? But if I walked into your office and I walked in, sad. Hey, Sam, what's wrong? You know what? Let's grab a drink after work. Let's go grab a drink. Let's go have dinner. They did a study. They wanted to find out why do people take you out when something's wrong in your life? Why do they take you out and listen to you? They found that when people listen to you or listen to your problems, they're actually thinking to themselves, thank God my life is not screwed up as hers. That's what they're saying to themselves when they're listening. Sorry, but that's their reality. They feel better about themselves. They took the study further. They wanted to find out why do people show up at funerals, but they haven't seen the person for 5 years. They found that when people sit at funerals, they're saying life is precious. I got to spend more time with my family. I got to do other things. They say all these cool things, but most people have one interest, which is themselves. So that's why it's very, very important to understand is that fire, that passion, has to be something that makes you outstanding. When you're outstanding, you have to stand out from everybody else. And that doesn't mean you might not take some licks, you might not go on the floor, you might not fall down. All those things happen. Life hits you hard. But you get back up and you go forward and you don't give a damn what someone says. So for change to happen, you have to be open to the idea is that how can I make sure that I'm going to use Morgan? How am I going to use Morgan on a consistent basis without feeling like I'm doing something totally different and this is uncomfortable? How do you make something uncomfortable comfortable? We all have neural pathways, right? And neural pathways are something like every morning you pick up the toothbrush with the same hand. How many people do that every morning? Okay? Have you ever tried, say, I'm going to pick it up with the opposite hand every morning? It doesn't happen, right? Where do the guys flip with their wallet? Okay? You got it at the same pocket all the time because your neural pathways have been built. So to break those neural pathways, you got to break the pattern. Okay? You got to break the pattern. And to break limiting beliefs and negative thoughts, can I give you a little tool how to do that? How many people are interested in that? Okay? Here's a simple tool. Okay? If you have a rubber band on your wrist, okay, and you have a negative thought in your head, pull back the rubber band and snap it. Hard. Your conscious mind can only deal with 5 to 9 bits of information at a time. Your conscious mind can only deal with 5 to 9 bits of information at a time. Your mind will focus on the pain. Now you're consciously aware to have a different thought. What if I told everybody in this room that I could eliminate every single thought in your head except one for a quick moment? Who would believe me? Oh, thank you guys. Awesome. I love it. Okay? How about if I do it right now for everybody? You guys up for it?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
All right. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. This time take your deep breath in and hold your breath long as you can. There'll be a moment where your mind will say, I need to breathe. And every single other thought will disappear for that moment. Some of you guys should be Navy SEALs, for sure. Okay? Keep trying. Go home, try it. But anyway, the whole idea with that exercise is that you can break your pattern. If you're getting a nervous breakdown, if you're like, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed, right? That simple exercise can eliminate every single thought except one. Okay? That's how you break patterns. You can take a cold shower. That will do it too. But there's a simple technique that can help everyone out. So one of the things about today was that we wanted to highlight Morgan. And to highlight Morgan, it's hard to do that unless there's a mindset shift. And Bhavan is kind of changing the game in the real estate and mortgage industry on how everything operates. We have some of the most amazing LOs that work on making sure those relationships are really good. The technology aspect of having an underwriter at your pocket at all times. If you need a guideline question, whatever question answered at all times is a really powerful tool if you utilize it. And the crazy part is, right now it takes a couple minutes, you get your answer, right? And if you put a bunch of documents in there, you get something within an hour. In the future, it's going to be instant. Instant. By next year, it's going to be instant. That happens. How powerful a tool would that be? How many people in here would like to come on March 31st, okay, March 31st, and come see Bhavan and Jason Oppenheim, okay, personally? Who would like to come out of this room? It's an invite only, and it's at the Wynn Hotel. Who would like to come out of this room? Okay, raise your hand if you would like to make it. Okay? Who would make it if I give you the invite?
I always make it.
Okay? Few of you? Okay? So, the people that would make it, that would come and make that, the reason I would like you to attend that is I would like you to also see Bhavan explain the AI aspect of it at another level so for everyone to understand. Who thinks the AI is going to be important in the future in the real estate and mortgage industry? Okay. Who thinks it's not going to be important? Anybody? Okay. So if it's going to be important, who right now can tell me that they would be able to try this out and give us feedback on how it works? Who would be able to do that for us? Okay? So I want something, before we go into the next piece, I want everyone to stand up quickly. All right, we're gonna give away another 2 things very soon. So, I know you guys, okay, take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath in. Close your eyes so it's not uncomfortable. Take another deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out. On 3, with incredible passion, with incredible energy, I want you to say, it is my time! It is my time! It is my time! On 3. And if you don't do it with incredible passion and incredible energy, no worries. You can do it in front of the whole group by yourself. 1, 2, 3.
It's my time! It's my time! It's my time!
Hold on, that was good. But how about if I put 2 more rooms at the Wynn Hotel for the person who can do it with the most passion on this time around? Ready? 1 more time. This guy's like, I'll buy my own damn room. On 3, here we go. 1, 2, 3.
It's my time! It's my time! It's my time!
Okay, one last time. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
It's my time! It's my time! It's my time!
Round of applause for you guys. Have a seat quickly. We only have a few more minutes. I know everybody has to run. So what I want to do with the Morgan aspect, Pavan's been working on this for years to create Morgan. So when you go to usemorgan.com, what I want to do is I want to set up a Zoom call with you guys so you guys can go over the details of how the different questions, the different answers. I want to set that up. If you haven't had any experience with Morgan, I want you guys to have that. But more importantly is that I would like everyone to try Morgan, just to try Morgan tonight when you get home and say, let me just ask a question. Hey, what are the loan limits? Or, hey, what do I do in this scenario? Just ask questions so I can get feedback. How many people up for that? Okay? So, I wanted to give away 2 more rooms for the win. Who's ready for that? Okay? There's a winner in the room. Laura, stand up. Turn around. And 1 more winner. A round of applause. Okay. So I want to kind of open it up for a quick Q&A. I want you to, any question you have, anybody. Go ahead.
How does this help me get more business?
Really great question. So you're a real estate agent? Loan rep? Is that, okay. You do everything.
In the finance game.
Okay, so the way it helps you generate more business is that if you're focused on prospecting, let's just say, you get a lead coming in, right? You're like, oh, I got this lead. You can put the lead into Morgan, okay? You could have a bilingual person or a regular person. They'll get called, they get qualified, they'll be taken care of, where you can still focus on prospecting. It'll be automatically handled with Morgan, just by putting the lead in there. When I say putting the lead in there, you could just put the phone number and name on there, and the lead can be called and qualified Or if you say, hey, I got this documents here, I just need a qualification, it just takes that time away so you can keep focused on doing what you're doing, which is prospecting. That's the benefit of Morgan.
Thank you.
Can we calculate payments?
Yes, absolutely. So if you say, hey, I got this scenario, I have this FICO score, and I got this, this income, monthly income, and these many bills, please figure out what they qualify on FHA today, or conventional, whatever. Or figure out what program they qualify for. Morgan will be able to do it.
What if we plug in like price, property taxes, and like credit score? Will it give us the estimated?
Yeah, as long as you have enough information to be able to know what they fall under, right? Because if you have it, because the way we work is that we have no overlays. So we go lowest 500 FICO score in FHA. Okay, go lowest 500 FICO score in FHA. So if you put the scenario in there with the basic information as much as you want to get a payment on it, it'll give you the payment. Okay, but you got to put enough info to get that info. Okay.
Does this work equally on mobile and desktop?
Yeah,
I'm
so
on mobile a lot, so I want to call on a lead, or if I'm at my desk, does it work equally?
It's completely equally because it's not an app. So which made it easier to you just go to usemorgan.com, whether it's on your computer or on the phone, it gets handled the same.
Okay.
Go
Is
ahead.
this 100% AI? So like if I had a prospect during the weekend, loan officer's out to vacation, I upload all the documentation
Yeah.
onto this. Will it spit out a yes or a no?
If you put all the documentation in there, it'll give you a complete qualification on what they qualify for. Now, remember how AI learning is done. AI learning is done where if the AI doesn't know something, right, then it will go to somebody that will give that information. Now the AI knows it for next time. So the AI is learning. So in that situation, you'll just plug in that information. You'll have exactly what they qualify for, what amount they qualify for, automatically. And then we'll stand behind whatever Morgan says. And if it's wrong, then Pavan, out of his own pocket, will buy that loan.
Obviously, there's higher loan limits in different jurisdictions. Will Morgan know where you are when you put in something? So if you're in Orange County, I don't know what the new loan limit is, as opposed to,
Yeah,
Kennesaw, Arkansas, or wherever.
as long as you put it in the city, Morgan's going to know what the loan limit in that city is. If you put it broad to say, hey, in the U.S.,
Okay.
But it's as long as you put it in the city, it will figure out the loan.
The loan officer that I work with, specifically at NMLS, are they going to be able to see what I ask?
Yeah, so really cool feature is really awesome. Starts on Monday, I believe this coming Monday, is whatever you ask Morgan, your loan officer also gets a text on what Morgan told them, so everybody's in one team. So, yeah, it just helps out. If you wake up at 12 midnight, you're like, you know what, I'm going to let my loan officer sleep at 12 midnight, and you have some wild question, you just ask the question. It's 24 hours.
You see the name and the email, and then it'll just connect it right there.
Right. So Vanessa, first of all, thank you for Vanessa for having this great setup. It's amazing. But what Vanessa said is you can add anyone to the conversation, and it'll send an email when it has the answer. It'll send an email to everybody. So that's one of the great features about Morgan.
Sorry, I'm taking all the questions. One of the big things nowadays is security. So if I'm telling a client or potential client or a lead that I'm going to be talking to a computer about their information, how can I tell them that it's going to be safe, secure, encrypted? When you see a lot of breaches and you see this, you see that. So is it secure?
So just so you know, this thing has not happened overnight. Okay, so security was one of the was the most important piece to even get to this point that we are at today. Everything is protected completely. The whole aspect of putting this together is that if it didn't have security, it would not only have risks for your clients, for you, but also for the company. So it is completely secured. When Pavan speaks on March 31st, he dives really deep into the security aspect of it and what they did behind the scenes. They have some of the, Bond has hundreds of engineers that are working on this all day long, all night long, that are working on this because there's a whole blockchain component to it. So there's a lot of things that are pretty awesome with it. But I can assure you that it is completely protected.
Excellent, thank you.
Anybody else? All right. So I promised you guys that for the invite-only event, which we're providing lunch at the Wynn Hotel, we're providing Jason Oppenheim. Oh, there's also Mike Ferry who will be attending. Will be speaking at that event too. I'm going to put the invite out for everyone who attended here, plus one that wants to go to this event. When you go outside with Barbara, give her your information. Let her know. Give her your information that you want to attend this event. It's invite only, so don't cancel. Please, if you got to cancel early. But there's only certain spaces left for this. We'll have you at that event as an invite only event. Any other thoughts? Any other questions? Was this valuable information? Yes or no?
Yes.
If you can, leave a review. If you don't mind, if you can leave a review, I would really appreciate that. That means a lot to me. And again, thank you for coming and really appreciate everyone in here. And don't give up. Don't give up. Everything has to happen for what's about to happen. Increase the amount of process on prospecting, whatever you have to do to go get business. Because the rates can go higher. See, a lot of people don't know, people did a lot of business when rates were 8.75, 9%. The biggest challenge you have is with the housing market dropping. And when the housing market drops, okay, deals don't stop. Purchases still continue. So your mindset has to be is I'm still going to go get those purchases out there. So thank you again. I appreciate everybody coming here.